So Conor McGregor versus Max Holloway 2 just got announced for July. And if I'm being honest, I don't really see this fight being that close. But I also do think people are underestimating Conor McGregor. I mean, he is a very good counter striker. He's very dangerous. But again, I do understand the point. People saying that was like 4 years ago when he looked like this. And I do understand, but I also think people need to understand that this is at welterweight. And Conor McGregor, I think he will genuinely be filled out. I think, he's been on the sauce. He's recovered from that broken leg injury. And Max Holloway is probably still going to be a lightweight. I mean, he's probably going to be a little bigger, just not cut as much weight. But I feel like Conor McGregor could still knock out Max Holloway. I mean, obviously, right? He's a crazy striker, but I just feel like people do underestimate Conor McGregor way too much in this matchup. And also, I feel like, this year there has been quite the turnaround of events, if that's how you say it. Like, literally look at, like, last weekend or 2 weekends ago, Sean Strickland wins the belt, beats the undefeated Khamzat Chimaev that honestly nobody really thought Khamzat would lose for a while. Like, nobody really saw any threats for Khamzat in that division at 185 or 205 at the time. So it is pretty crazy the things that have happened this year. And before anyone says it, yes, I did pick Strickland. I know it might have been a pity pick because I wanted him to win, but he still won, so we're here. But anyway, so yeah, with stuff like that happening, it just kind of points me more to maybe Connor could get this done. Same thing with Ilya and Gaethje. It's like, well, Strickland just went out there and did that. Why couldn't Gaethje? Why can't Gaethje do that? Go out there, beat the undefeated champion. And this is different, right? I mean, Holloway's not an undefeated champion. He did just lose to Charles Oliveira pretty dominantly. But I also think this fight, it will kind of be like who who wants to prove it more, because Conor McGregor's coming off of that ankle snap, and before that he was coming off a knockout loss, I believe. Or maybe I'm mixing up my records. It is what it is, right? I'm a casual. No. And then you have Max Holloway, who just got dominated by Charles, and he wants to come back. He's probably salty. So is Conor. This is like the salt fest in the main event. Who knows how Conor McGregor's going to show up. Maybe he comes in, starts talking shit, and then Max Holloway gets all freaking emotional, but I don't really see it. I think Conor will probably be respectful. You know, I don't think Conor will win, but I I can't not think that this could just be Conor's moment. I know it sounds so stupid and it probably won't happen, but just it is that. It is the year. It is the year. This could be the year. Like, if this was 2025, I'm like, yeah, he's getting smoked. If this 2027, I'm like, yeah, he's getting smoked. 2026 though, he could win. He could win. I know there's no point of me saying that. Like, it doesn't really make sense that I'm saying this. But you just got to remember, like, this is on the vibes, right? A lot of fighting is just on vibes. I picked Strickland because of vibes. I'm like, my first thought when that fight got announced, I'm like, yo, he's low-key got that. He's low-key got that. He low-key can win. And then guess what happens? Khamzat comes in, weighs in, looks like he just got drained of his soul. This stuff happens in MMA. This stuff happens, so it's just like aura and vibe. Conor could win this fight. Duh, right? I've said it 40 times. But I just have this gut feeling. Max likes to throw these long combinations. Conor, yeah, he kind of does struggle when you really put the pace on him. Obviously, that's why I'm still going to pick Max. Conor does struggle, and, he's been out for years, so who knows how his gas tank's going to be. It's probably going to be way worse than it used to be, which is kind of saying something. Conor McGregor used to gas out pretty quick in his fights when he just couldn't knock you out, right? And so when you have someone like Max Holloway who's just going to sit there, keep the pressure on, I don't really see Conor McGregor winning. But he could. He could win. Guys, picture it right in your head right now. Max Holloway starts coming off, drops Conor, right? Conor goes down, just like Dustin did. But this is at welterweight. The power's a little different. Max starts coming in with the forward pressure, right? Boom, boom. Throws the cross. Maybe he's being a little too cocky. Conor steps back, left hand, rocks Holloway. But Holloway comes back and beats him, right? And to be honest, I think it would be better for the UFC if Holloway won, because I think if Conor wins, what are they going to do? Yeah, they're not going to give him Chandler. They're probably going to give him like a freaking title fight, which would be ridiculous, right? They'd probably give him Ilya. That's stupid. No one wants to see that. I want to see Holloway versus Benoit. I want to see Holloway versus Patty. I want to see Holloway versus these top guys. Maybe a Quillen Selkill, right? Oh, I butchered that name. But that's the thing. I don't want to see these stupid matchups. Conor flukes a win over Max Holloway, right? Ugh, that'd be bad. Or he knocks him out cold. Oof, I don't know. Obviously, I want the better man to win. Duh. But, like, you never know, man. I feel like I'm picking Max by 4th round TKO. But I feel like Conor could win, you know. This is at welterweight. If this was at lightweight, I'd give McGregor like 5% chance to win, to be honest. But since it's at welterweight, I can't not think that Conor will be bigger. Not taller, but he'll be bigger in my opinion. And in the first fight, that's kind of what happened. He was just a little bigger, you know, pushed him around a little bit. So I can't help but think, you know, maybe he can just go out there, push Holloway around. But honestly, that's my thoughts on it. I think it'll be a good fight. And now I'm going to talk about the card. Let's get into the whole card itself. We have Paddy Pimblett versus Benoit Saint Denis. This is obviously a banger. Paddy, even though he is not the best in striking, he is not afraid to throw hands. He's really not. And then you have Benoit Saint Denis, who also is not afraid to throw hands and kicks and elbows and knees. So Paddy Pimblett's coming off the beatdown loss to Justin Gaethje. I'm not gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. My bad. That's not a terrible loss. Like getting dominated by Justin Gaethje. You know, he didn't look good in that fight. I think Gaethje looked kind of withered in that fight, but it's still good. Justin Gaethje. Paddy wasn't really smart. Didn't really shoot enough. I think he did start shooting in the later rounds, but it was just too late, right? He's already too beat up, too withered. And then you have Benoit Saint Denis, who is on a freaking run right now. Just beat the shit out of Dan Hooker, right? He's good. He's like, it's weird. It's like Benoit Saint Denis is only as good as his opponent is, right? To an extent. Dustin Poirier, he just got outclassed, right? Outboxed, put down, beat bad. Not a bad look to beat. It's like, same thing with Paddy. It's not a bad look to be beat down by Gaethje. But the thing is Paddy didn't really have moments against Gaethje. Then Benoit Saint Denis was beating the crap out of Dustin Poirier in moments. Had his back. Had good success in moments. So this is an interesting fight. I think Benoit wins, to be honest. I think Benoit, the grappling, I don't know, because Paddy could win. That's the thing, because I feel like Paddy will really only lose to hard-hitting strikers. And Benoit can hit hard, but he lacks the technicality. Paddy Pimblett doesn't have the technicality, but he does have the grit, and he does have, like, you know, Paddy can hurt Benoit in the striking. This is going to be an interesting fight. I think the safe pick is Benoit, but I could totally see Paddy clipping Benoit Saint Denis in moments with those sloppy 1-1-2s, the up kicks, the front kicks, the flying knees. I could see that. I could see a universe where Paddy knocks out Benoit Saint Denis with those, but I think Benoit will win. I think he will actually out-grapple Paddy Pimblett. Paddy Pimblett's a good grappler, but I think Benoit is better, to be honest. Like, if we look at who's done what to the competition, Benoit has. But that's also the hard thing with Paddy. He also hasn't really done. Like, he hasn't fought anyone besides jumping up against Gaethje. He fought Chandler, but Chandler's on, like, the loss streak of a century right now, right? Just losing to everyone, especially if Ruffy just goes out there and starches him. It will even look worse for Paddy. So, I think I'm going to go Benoit based on vibes, again. So, I think it'll be a good fight. I think Benoit by probably decision. I don't know if he'll be able to finish Paddy. Paddy's pretty tough. He showed to be pretty tough against Gaethje, so that's a good fight. Next up, we got Corey Sandhagen versus Mario Batista. I think that will be a good fight. My early predictions, I think Batista's going to get it done. Sandhagen's, I think he's taking a little too much damage. I think he's been beat up a little too many times. Like, he's coming off that pretty bad loss to Marab. Probably the same thing would probably happen to Mario. But the reason I'm picking Batista is because Batista did drop Umar. And I remember, I'm like, he's going to drop Umar if Umar keeps ducking his head like that. And he did. So, off the bat, that shows Batista is a crazy smart fighter. I think he reads the other fighters well. And I think this is just, again, aura. I'm going Batista because he lost the first fight. He's improved a lot since then. Moving on to Brandon Royval versus Kavanaugh. I think Kavanaugh gets it done. I think he explodes, and I think Brandon Royval just doesn't have the chin to take that. Against other fighters, sounds like we're fighting zombies. But anyway, against other fighters, yeah, he can take that. He can throw his pillow punches. Against a Tatsuro Taira, he can throw his pillow punches, get going, and then start breaking him. But Kavanaugh's too slick, so I think Kavanaugh wins. Gable Steveson versus Elisha Ellison. I do not care about Gable Steveson, to be honest. I'm not following the hype. I don't care. Put him on the very first fight of the night, dude. This is ridiculous. I'm so sick of this Bo Nickel treatment on these fighters. He's going to win against this Elijah Ellison. Probably he's going to win. I hope Elijah wins, but, yeah. So I'm picking Gable by whatever. Robert Whittaker versus Krylov. I think Whittaker's actually going to win this one. To be honest, I think he's the way more technical striker. I think Nikita does throw a lot of just crazy stuff, and I think Robert could get caught. But I think, actually, I don't know if I can pick on this fight yet. I think I'm going to need to see the stare-off. How much bigger is Krylov, you know? So I'm going to wait, but actually I will. I'm going to go Whittaker. But I might change my pick if I see a huge size difference. Cody Garbrandt versus Andrei Yanez. I'm going to pick Yanez by first round KO. Or second. I think Cody's just going to run like he's been doing in his recent fights. Just running around, being too scared to throw. And I think he's going to get chinned pretty badly by Yanez. Tracy Cortez versus Wong Kong. I'm going to go Wong Kong. I think she'll be good enough to stop the wrestling of Tracy. And I think Wong Kong will actually knock out Tracy Cortez. So that is this. And then I'll move on to the rest of the card now. So we got Damian Penis versus Cesar Almeida. I'm actually going to go Damian Penis. Not because of his funny name, because he is a powerful striker, hits very hard, and I think he can put out Cesar Almeida. Cesar Almeida is a good kickboxer, and he did show that one knockout against Sprakal Akamasan, or whatever his name is. Put him out pretty badly with a nice, under ducking counter left hook. Did chin him bad, but I think Pinas might wrestle. I think he's way younger. And I think he's just way stronger, way faster. I'm going to go Pinas. Luke Riley versus Kai Kaka 3. Sorry, they're so small I can't read the names. I'm going to go Luke Riley by decision. Odie Osborne versus Cody Durden. It's actually a close fight. I think Odie can take it. I think he can take it. I think Cody Durden... that's one of those fights I'll have to see the stare-offs, actually. But my initial reaction, I think Odie gets it. That's my card. That's my video. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you in the next one. Goodbye.